Hi guys, I'm Tay. Welcome back if you've been here before. Today I'm actually going to be talking about some of the lies that I think we are told about motherhood and just kind of my thoughts on some of them. And Aurora is in the background, so if you hear her, it just is what it is. Yeah. What? I don't know what you're saying. Oh, the dogs? The dogs have hats? Is that what you're saying? You see the baby in there?
Baby.
Yeah.
Where's that baby?
Okay, so, Aurora, can you come sit on Mommy's lap? Okay, so the first lie that I want to talk about is that I think that like one of the first things that you're told like when you're pregnant is that once you're mom, like everything will come naturally. And I just do not believe that is the case at all. I do think that some things come naturally. I think that some things come naturally for some people, and that same exact thing will not come naturally to another. Like for me, pregnancy did not come naturally at all. I hated every second of it. Hey, can you come sit down, baby? No. Can you go get your coloring pages? We'll color. But that said, breastfeeding came super naturally to me. And I know that for some people, breastfeeding just never comes naturally, and it is always a struggle. And I think that that can be the case for all the things. It's not always the case that everything will come naturally. And if something is not coming naturally to you, don't think that there is something wrong with you. It is a perfectly normal thing. A lot of things came naturally to me once I Googled the crap out of them. Yeah. And I just think that that is just something that is not super helpful when you're told, oh, don't worry about it, it'll come naturally. That's not the case. You're not alone in feeling that way if it's not coming naturally. The second lie that I think that we are constantly told, and I think it is just something you're coloring. Yeah. It's just something that we're told because I think that in the moment you're coloring the eyes. You are. I think that in the moment it makes people feel better is that people say, oh, don't worry, it'll get easier. And like, does it actually get easier, or do you just get used to how hard it is? And also, that said, yes, some things get easier because your child outgrows them, or because you finally worked out a system. It doesn't mean that when it gets hard again, that you're doing something wrong. Like, it's just this ebb and flow of eyes. Right here. Those are my eyes. Papa's eyes. Papa's not here. Mama's not here either. But I think that motherhood is just this constant ebb and flow of just things will get easier and then something will change and all of a sudden it gets hard again. And it's just a constant ebb and flow. And I don't think, like, there are some things that just never get easier. And that is just, I feel like you're never told that. Like, some of the things that are hard are just always going to be hard. Yes, there are things like for 1.5 years, Aurora didn't sleep through the night. That never got easier. It was hard. Now that she's sleeping through the night, yeah, it's easier. But that actual thing didn't get easier. We just moved out of that time period. And as soon as you leave one time period, then in the next season, there's going to be something else that's hard. And it's just a constant balance of things that you're growing out of or things that you're finally figuring out, balanced with new things that are hard all over again. And then, obviously just some of those things just don't ever get easier. The third lie that you are told is to sleep when your baby sleeps, sleep when your toddler sleeps. And especially in the newborn, that's like the big thing. Like when you first have your baby, is that while your baby is sleeping, you should be sleeping because you're not sleeping at night. But a lot of babies don't sleep if they're put down for a while. And so really I never like co-sleeping, not my thing. Going back to the some of the things that come naturally thing, I am not a co-sleeper. I can't sleep when I'm with her. I'm too freaked out that I'm gonna move or that she's gonna be uncomfortable or anything. Like co-sleeping just does not come naturally. And so I cannot lay there and sleep while she's sleeping. And then also, I could not, you can't put her down because then she wakes up. So for a long time, that doesn't make sense. But then also, if you're sleeping while the baby's sleeping, then like, when are you going to do all the other things? Like, obviously, sometimes you have a lot of help. I know that when I had my daughter, my husband was able to stay home for a few weeks. It was super helpful because he helped, with food and all the things. But like, when are you going to shower and like, when are you going to eat and all the things? And so sleeping when the baby sleeps is kind of a lie that is just very frequently told, and it's just not very realistic. At least in my case, it was not realistic. I rarely slept when she slept. The fourth lie is probably it's going to be very controversial, and I already know that, but I think that sleep training is a lie. I do think that for some people it works, but I think to say that sleep training would work for all babies is not necessarily the case because I tried all the things. I tried, I tried all the things with crying it out as the last resort. And as a last resort, we tried crying it out, and she cried so hard that she was like gagging and making herself throw up. And I'm sorry, it's not worth it for me. So, yeah, maybe you can say that sleep training would have worked if I would have let her cry it out and not went and got her when that happened. But no, that was not how we were going to do it. That would not have made me feel good. It obviously would not have made her feel good if she was crying so hard, and like it may have, as short term as it may have been, it just didn't work. So what did work and what was easier for me is that for a really long time, she would wake up twice a night. She literally needed me to walk across the hall, lay my hand on her, and then walk like until she calmed down, which was like 30 seconds, and then go lay back down. And that 2 minutes that I was up and helping her and comforting her was so much easier than listening to her cry herself back to sleep for 20 minutes. And so I just don't think that sleep training is always the right choice for people. I think that if you want to do it and it works for you, great. I would have loved to have gotten more sleep before a year and a half. Would have absolutely loved it, but it just didn't work for us. And so I didn't like when I would tell people that, oh, she's still getting up once or twice. And it wasn't a big deal to me. I wasn't complaining about it. It was just, they would ask me, oh, is she sleeping through the night? I'd be like, oh, not yet. And then it was always, gotta sleep train. That's not helpful. I was okay with where we were at. Yeah, I wish I would have been getting sleep all night, but I just don't think that sleep training is always the answer. I don't always think that it works. I also think that you can sleep train and then your baby can go through like a leap or something and they will have sleep regressions and then you have to redo it. So I don't think that sleep training is this like one and done, get your baby to sleep super early type thing. I think it's very dependent on the baby, and yeah. I'll get off my soapbox now. I don't like sleep training. I don't think that it was helpful. Just find something that works for you, and if you're not figuring out, then okay, look for things that will help you if you're really struggling. But if you find something that works for you and other people tell you that you should do something different, if it's working for you, who cares what they're telling you? Just saying. The fifth thing that I think it's a lie, but yet it's not a lie. It's kind of like 50-50 is when you're talking about something, and I guess I'm talking about things more things when you're talking about something that you don't like, or like, I can't wait until we're not doing this anymore. And the go-to is always, oh, one day you'll miss this. And like, they told me that about pregnancy. Every time I talked about how I didn't really like being pregnant and I was miserable, everyone's like, oh, you'll miss being pregnant. I never, not once, not since she has been born, never once have I missed being pregnant at all. And I will not miss her not sleeping through the night. When she's potty trained, I will not miss changing diapers. And yeah, there are things that I'm going to miss. Like someday when she's too big for me to hold her or cuddle with her, yes, I'm gonna miss that. Or whenever she's too cool to hang out with her mom all the time, yes, I'm going to miss that. But there are a lot of things now, like she's starting to talk now and we can understand a lot of what she's saying. I'm not going to miss not being able to communicate with her. And so it's another one of those lies. If there's something that somebody says, oh, you're going to miss that, and you don't miss it, it's okay. Like, you're not alone in that. And the sixth thing is a lie that I actually told myself a lot. And it's that no one understands what you're going through. And this was especially when we were having sleepless nights and it was 3 o'clock in the morning and I was exhausted and she was crying, and I would be sitting there in the dark, and all I could think about is there's just this thought that runs through your mind, just that you're all alone. No one knows what you're going through. No one can relate. And I just want to take a minute to tell you, you're not alone. Somebody may not understand exactly where you're at. And when I say somebody, I mean, like, there were times when I would feel a certain way and my husband just did not understand, or my mom did not understand. But there are other people that will understand. So just because one person in your life doesn't understand what you're feeling doesn't mean that what you're feeling is wrong or that there's something wrong with you. You just need to find your people, and you need to try to find somebody who can relate to what you're going through. And obviously, if you're here on my channel, I hope that this can be a place where maybe you can find some of those people. I just think sometimes that motherhood or parenthood can be lonely sometimes. And so I don't think that the answer to that is, telling everybody, oh, it'll get easier or it'll come naturally. All of these lies, I don't necessarily think are the answer. I think that the answer is finding people who will talk about the things that you're struggling with, because I think that if you can talk about the things that you're struggling with and not feel that sense of being alone, I think that it will be easier to get through it and find peace and happiness in your life. And I also think that just because there are pieces of parenthood and motherhood that you don't like, it doesn't mean that you don't want to be a mom or you wish that you wouldn't have. I mean, I'm sure that is the case in some situations, but I absolutely love being a mom. I love my daughter, but there are things about motherhood that I hate. I will always hate. There are things that will always be hard. There are always going to be things that I struggle with, and I don't think the answer is not talking about them. So those are the 6 biggest lies about motherhood, in my opinion. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you can find some relatability in this video. I hope that you feel like you have a friend if you've watched this video. I would love to chat with you guys in the comments, and thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.